Morning, afternoon, and evening, everyone. Welcome back to a fresh new episode of Knock of the Perch, a Manchester United podcast. We come to this episode on the back of a thrilling victory against Athletic Bilbao, which takes us to another final of Europa League, and we'll be facing a Tottenham side, and you could call it a El Shitico, considering the positions of the two teams in the league. But yeah, we win what we can win, and that's where we are.
Finally, we have something to celebrate this season. Another Europa League final in last 7 or 8 years. I think this is our third final. So we have properly become a Europa League club, and I think people could call this the team to be feared in the Europa League or stuff like that. But a victory in the next one will take us to the Champions League, and I think that is the hope. That is the big hope. Let's discuss the game. Let's talk about the game. Uh, when you go into a game 3-0 up, you should be fairly confident in the second leg, right? But what were the feelings, Dheeraj, going into this one? I, for one, was not very confident.
Hey, I was confident of us moving ahead in the final, but I knew there'll be some scares along the way, and I was proven right because till the 70th minute of the game, it was quite tentative. Our performance was quite tentative, and to be fair to Athletic Bilbao and Atletico Bilbao fans, they came here and made a show out of it. They were missing their top three players, the top three scorers, the Williams brothers and Langlet, and yet they were so attacking and took the lead as well.
Yeah, yeah. So, which is where, when it became 3-1, I was a little nervous about this because another goal for Athletic Club could have really made it difficult. And we know this club and this team has had a tendency to crumble under pressure in some of the games. So I think that was always the worry. But uh, the starting 11, you think we could have looked at it any different? We started with the same team that won 3-0 against Athletic Club at Bilbao. Any thoughts you had in terms of, or was this possibly the best 11 we could have started with?
I was looking forward to seeing one of Maino or Mount starting, but considering that we won the game 3-0, I think Amorim was proven right with the substitutions as well. And in the starting 11, I think other than Lindelof, all the players have had their fair share of game time this season and have had their fair share of good moments. Of course, we can't say the same about Hoyland. Hoyland has been struggling recently, but all the other players have had their fair share of good moments on the pitch. So I thought it was a good team. And I also feel everyone did play their heart out. Everyone did give a 7 or 8 out of 10 performance. And whatever problems were caused because of the system more than, players' mistakes and, individual errors that we review about week after week.
Yeah, yeah. I think in my mind, the pivot is the only area where I keep thinking, but I think Casemiro's performances and Ugarte's energy, I think, have made it difficult for Amorim to drop either of them, which means that both of them start. Otherwise, the only thought that keeps coming in mind is, can Bruno get back into the pivot as he was doing in so many games? And one out of Mount or Ahmad can probably come in, whether it is for Garnacho or for that Bruno spot that gets vacated when he steps up. I think we might see some changes eventually, and the 2 games in the build up to that, we might see some of that. But yeah,
Tell me, between the two pivot, who would you want drop for Bruno Fernandes? So I understand you'd like Bruno Fernandes in one of the 6 and 8 roles. Who would you want drop between Casemiro and Ugarte?
I would drop Ugarte if I had to pick one. I think Casemiro, yeah, Casemiro is probably one of the better players in this team at this point in time. He's in form. He has the big game experience. He has the experience of winning finals. I think he definitely plays the final for me. And possibly Bruno steps in. And I think, closer to the game when we preview the final, I think we'll talk a little more about that. But continuing with this game, I think the fact that till the 70th minute we didn't have a chance and we were very tentative about it. I think it was all for Amorim's substitutions which changed the game. What did you make of those substitutions? We see the 4 goals all came in after the 70th minute when some of these changes had come to life. What did you make of them?
Oh yeah, I mean, everyone who came on the field added something to the goals as well, and it brought a certain energy. You see when Amad Diallo is on the ball, like he does things which we don't see anyone in the team doing. He has a
Yeah.
sort of directness to his play, and some sort of enhanced game intelligence, which we don't see often in our front line in Garnacho or say Hoyland. Hoyland was, we could see like he was struggling to make anything out of the hold up play. And every time the ball was getting crossed to the wings, Garnacho couldn't make much of it. So the introduction of Amad Diallo changed things very quickly. Mount, we know, is a hungry player as of moment because he is like starved of minutes and goals, assists. But like we hear from Amarip time and again that he is a tireless trainer, that his attitude is on point. He eats well, he rests well. So we keep on hoping that he gets a good run of time. And yeah, this was the game when we saw the mount of Chelsea. Like
Yeah.
he came in and he came in clutch with both his goals.
Yeah, so I think we haven't been speaking a lot about the Premier League. We don't have much to discuss in the Premier League, but Mount's performance in the loss against Brentford was also a good one. He got that first goal initially, and I think that has got a lot to do with the confidence that we saw him play with in the last game. And we were starting to see him really sort of try to make an impact in the last couple of games. When he came back from injury, his performances, even as a substitute, weren't at that level where we would want them to be. I remember we were discussing, we were questioning his role, his goal contribution, etc. But I think in the last couple of games, he looks more confident, and now he has got 3 goals in 2 games to show for it. And I hope he just goes on and builds on this. Hopefully, starts the game against West Ham now. Both him and Menu most likely start that game, and he goes on to build that confidence and probably can play a big role in that game against Spurs.
Are your expectations against, for him securing a starting berth in the final? Do you think his continued showing in the next couple of games can amount to him starting in the final?
I think it's just that the front or the two behind Hoyland at this point in time, that's become a little crowded space for United. You have Garnacho, Bruno, Ahmad, and now Mount who can play in that space. So I don't know if all 4 of them uh, probably deserve a spot who needs to be left out, because even if Bruno moves into the midfield, one of them will have to be left out. And as much as I like Garnacho, as much as I like to defend him on social media, etc., I think his decision making is not at the level of Mount and Ahmad both at this point in time. So maybe behind Hoyland, Mount and Ahmad start with Bruno in the pivot for the final. I'm just these are my initial thoughts.
What we do know is we know that in the final, all four of these will get some minutes in the form of it's some involvement they'll have, and it's all about who is looking sharper in the previous games and
Yeah.
who whose profile works better with the Spurs backline.
Yeah, and actually, come to think about the game and the profile, it could very well happen that Amorim prefers Ugarte and Casemiro pivot because he wants the solidity in the midfield. So I'm probably neither of Mount or Garnacho start, and it's Ahmad and Bruno. That could also yes.
I should point out though that I haven't been fairly confident with Ugarte's position and his passing in the past couple of games. I think he has a odd mistake in him, and his passing has been wavered in the last couple of games. I don't know if you noticed that or not.
I think what he no, I was just saying that he tends to grow into games. I think first 15, 20, 30 minutes is when he's the most vulnerable, is what I feel. I've seen a couple of wayward passes from him, giving up the possession, and especially in a game against Spurs that will come up, who are an intense presser, who are very intense at pressing as a team. You can't make those mistakes early on.
Yeah.
So I think that will be a critical point. But eventually, he's grown into all of these games, and he has provided a few assists. Probably he was trying to shoot and they became assists. I don't know, but he has been able to provide a couple of assists in the last few games. So it will be interesting how the next 2 games pan out. Amarim has spoken about the fact that against West Ham, we are likely to see some rotation. But in the game after, just before the Europa League final against Chelsea, I think we might see a close to starting 11 for the Europa, so that everyone has momentum. Yeah.
Yeah, the great thing about the semi-final this time was the we saw Poland score again, even though it was a tap in, but he had to be there. And it although the soul or the I'll attribute the goal and the to mostly Ahmad's movement, but
Yeah.
it's so great that Hoyland has been able to get back into the goals.
Yeah.
It's just before the final lesson.
Yeah, 2 points on that. So I think good players make others look good around them, and which is what Amat does. He makes these decisions, he finds people who are in a good position, etc., plays it to them. And the other thing that I wanted to talk about is I have no qualms about a striker with making tap in goals. I love a striker who gets those tap in goals. And for a long time, when Hoyland has been criticized, and I have criticized him as well, I still feel his runs and his positioning is not that bad. It's sometimes he's not able to make that final effort, or he's sometimes not able to have the best decision, or the others are not finding him, whatever may be the case. He's been low on confidence, so his shots are not that powerful, which we saw in the previous season. But I think players like Ahmad, players like Mount can make him a better player as well. So I'm hoping they have that rub-on effect on him in the final as well.
Well said, Aruj. And on the top of it, like we have to say that the scoreline does make us look a lot better than we were in the semifinals, because to be very honest, out of the 180 minutes, I believed Atletico Bilbao did have a solid 90 to 100 minutes. The total of the, and of course the first leg had the red card as well, which did help us a lot in getting luck. That being said, the final score line does say 7-1, and we are through to the finals, and beating the best defensive team in La Liga isn't an easy feat. I mean, if we see, only Barcelona and Real Madrid both have been able to score only 2 goals each against Bilbao in the 2 games they have played against them, and we were able to score 7. So yeah, that's a great, great, confidence boost for the team to go into the final.